Hello and welcome. I get many emails from all over the world asking about their life and how to improve and make it better because of emotional suffering and problems, etc. I conduct hypnotherapy and I've been doing it one-on-one for over 30 years. I now call it supersentience. In all this time, I've learned one very important thing. In fact, I call it a secret. It is an open secret because it is, everybody really knows it, but very few people live from it. So I'm going to make you notice the following statement. I'd like you to look at it, and it is this. Please know that you don't need to change anything, overcome anything, or fix anything about yourself. You only need to love you. Well, that's really the message, simple as it is. And that's what I've learned in all these years, to learn to love you. But now let's discuss why we need to love ourselves and what it is to love yourself and what is to be done. Okay, well, first of all emotional suffering, from loneliness, even to anger, to all kinds of emotional pain, is really self-concern, self-pity, lack of self-love, in other words. Now, the key question is, what causes this loss of love when it's so prevalent? In fact, loss of love or lack of loving yourself is so common, in fact, that most people are not only not aware of it, but they take it as part of life. Remember, emotional suffering and not loving yourself are one and the same thing. Let's discuss how this is, because in loving yourself, you don't need to do anything. Really. There's nothing to be done but to understand. Okay, what is to understand? I'd like you to picture the ocean. The ocean is one, and it is vast. As you look at it on the surface, you see billions of waves. Now, I'd like you to think of the ocean as life, and each wave is a human being. Now, the wave feels and looks separate, unique, and different. And because of this seeming separation, it forgets it is the ocean. And so it feels alienation, loneliness, separation. And then as a result of this feeling, which creates what we call suffering, we develop a need to belong. We develop a need for love. In fact, we start craving it. And the more we crave love, the more we're telling our subconscious we are not that love. And that's how all problems start, no matter what it is that you are suffering from. Believe you me, it is lack of self-love. So when you as a wave begin to feel that you're separate, you feel this alienation, you feel this loneliness, then you go about, and I'm repeating myself because it's so important here, you go about seeking love, seeking approval, seeking belonging, seeking recognition, self-importance, all forms of attention. In fact, control is another part of it too. Because then with seeking comes demands. But you see, they only create emotional pain, and it works in reverse. Because another thing happens when you feel an alienation, a separation. You suffer unconscious guilt. I call it unconscious because we're not aware of it. And guilt always asks for punishment. self-sabotage. So that you begin to fantasize about how you'd like life to be. But this fantasy is such that if it were to come true, you wouldn't want it. And that's how this part of us that thinks it is separate behaves this way. Now, why is it this way? Why don't we love who we are? See, we talk about in spirituality how to awaken, but what does it mean to awaken? See, it took me many years to realize one very important thing, that I am not inside the body. The body is inside me. And therefore I am life. I am presence. I am awareness. I am everything that I experience, everybody that I see, and everything is myself. So therefore you begin to see what it means to love yourself, to see that you are life itself. You're not loving a particular thing. You are realizing that you are the ocean itself. And it's not a big thing to realize. This shift can happen at any time that you're willing and allowing it to happen. In fact, in a moment, I'm going to give you a few pointers on how to awaken love of self. And in doing that, and I already told you earlier that there's nothing to do to love yourself, but the reason I'm giving you these pointers is for one reason: to get a taste of what it's like to love yourself. How beautiful it can be, how lovely and relaxing it is. In fact, the more you forget yourself, the more, quote, you love yourself. So it's kind of a duality thing, but it really isn't when you get down to it. So these are the steps to take to love yourself. Acknowledge the emotional pain that you happen to be suffering and locate it in the body. Remember that all emotions are emotion of energy. That is a sensation in the body. So if you are feeling loss, feeling rejection, feeling lonely, you might feel a pressure in your chest. If you're angry, you might feel it in your stomach because it's part of wanting control. So locate this part and then place your hands on the part of the body that is rejecting itself, because that's what it is. It is self-rejection. And as you put your hands there, say, I love you. I love you. And then follow it with, I forgive my seeking of what I already am. And this means of all the judgments that I create about myself and others. Then repeat again, I love you, and finish off with saying, thank you. Do this often enough, and I'm sure that grace will come to make you feel just great about being you. And after a while, it will happen automatically. I hope this has been of help. Thank you.